well, we have these regional managers who are superiors of the principals. So very often we get some kind of feedback from the parents or the teachers. So it's not it's not such a hierarchical system that a teacher could not contact a superior and complain what is happening at the schools. So probably it doesn't happen often, but it has happened during the 15 years I have been with the education division and in a position or another. So normally it starts with the regional managers talking to the principal. It might be that people get exhausted from time to time, or it could be that it's a problem of health somehow physical or mental health. And then there will be a discussion, and it doesn't happen
that often.
It doesn't happen that often, and it is very, very rare that somebody gets dismissal from his or her position. Very often people get retired earlier if there's it could be something concerning just people getting tired, and then it could be like retirement. But normally I think people get help from their superiors, and the system is kind of organized that if somebody feels that the situation is too much for them to handle, then they get help from the regional manager and above the next level. So. Yeah, I think it's important, and of course the principals meet each other a lot, and I know they are networking a lot between themselves. So I think this is also one way of like easing the pressures which I know they are facing, because also the parents are very demanding. They may have a lot of teachers working for them. We have also this system that we have one principal and then deputy principals at the school if the school is very, very large. But I know it's administratively and also just managing all what is happening, the budget, and also the people working there and the parents. It's really a demanding job, and I know it can be exhausting from time to time, especially at this time where people are very, very anxious about everything, and you just listen to the news. Do we have like corona cases at our school, and our schools closing or opening? It's very, very, very
stressful.
It's very stressful situation right now.
True. Yeah, I think it's just even individually people get stressed a lot. So like leader position people will get much bigger stress, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of questions come to the principals, but because whatever happens at the school, if there's bullying or if there's people don't like the food or the books or anything, all the complaints come to the principal first. Yeah. So there are so many different level, big things and small things, and it's really a demanding job.
Yeah. So as a Helsinki kind of education leader, you sympathize and has empathy to principals, how hard they work for their position.
Yeah, I have visited all the schools in Helsinki, and been in contact with the principals a lot. Of course, schools are also different. They are in different areas of the city. And they are big, they are small. Very often the new principals start with the small schools, and then they kind of grow up in their career. So that also helps them to to kind of know if this is the profession I want to follow. But of course, also in a small school, you have to do the same things as in the big school, but there are less people, so it's kind of easier to start with a small school. Yeah, we have a lot. Of course, there's these normal meetings where people meet each other and can learn and also get support from the peers. That is very important. But you can also get. We have this Kuntakymppi. I don't know if you have heard. It's a kind of test or inquiry that which is made every year, I think, and there you get results. What is the well-being level of the particular school or daycare center, and there you get the results. Then, if the results are very poor, you get outside help. So we have experts who come. They get through the results together and then try to ease the problems if there are some. And also the principals also sometimes change schools. So if we have two principals who would like to change schools, they can do that, and then they learn how the colleague has done things differently, and then they change back. So that is also something you get like 6 months away from the normal surroundings, and then you come back with the new ideas, because always there's even if we have a certain kind of similarity, of course, across the schools, there's always something that you can learn and how others do it differently. But you can get outside help, and it's not a big deal if you ask for support. It's quite normal. You get some outside experts, or you can see someone and talk about your problems. It's quite all right.
Good to hear that.
But I think against bullying, I think it's global. Bullying is global. If you read Harry Potter books, it's there. So I think it's something that is very hard to combat, but still I think we should do it. And it starts very early. So we started already at the early childhood education, where we have this kind of talking about feelings, and that is very important. And also forming the groups. Yes. So when the new class begins, it should always start with like talking to each other, not only having languages, maths, etc., but also having these classes where we are talking about feeling and how we cooperate with each other. And we have now tested that in some schools of Helsinki, and it has had very promising results. So we have in our weekly timetable, we have a lesson or two just for this communication and cooperation skills, and talk about feelings. If there has been bullying in the class, we talk about it, and people apologize and think how they could do better next time. So I think it's very important. It should be, I think it should be part of any lesson to talk about bullying if it exists during that class or between the classes. But I still think that it's important to have these special classes just for kind of forming the belongingness to the group in the class.
Yeah.
I think the most important part, if we think of anything, is the early part. So early childhood education, where we can detect the problems in learning, learning skills, which is very important, but also these basics of how to cooperate with others, how how to tolerate other people, how to behave. That starts there. And if there are any problems, in any emerging early problems, it's much easier to solve at the early childhood education than later. So that's why it's so important to invest in early childhood education. We put a lot of effort at the moment also against racism, because all the I think now the percentage is 72% of our personnel who has been educated against racism. So racism, because I think it's also one reason for bullying from time to time. And even the adults may, because this is something quite new, no, not quite new, but still, well, we have been a homogeneous culture before. So it's something that we have to learn. And very often people, they don't have like bad thoughts. They just don't realize how saying things will affect the person you are talking to. This is the same as also the differentiation between girls and boys. We also have education because very often you kind of without thinking in a bad way, you may offer certain toys for the girls and different toys for the boys. And it is something that when you go to this education, then you realize that I shouldn't allow the boys to be louder and say to the girls that you should be nice and quiet, and such things that are very deep in our mind. And then when you go to the education, then you realize that I shouldn't do that. I should treat everyone equally. And that is something that we do a lot also. Yeah, well, I would say that exactly this my basic thoughts about the being sure about every school being a good school. That is very important. And also this basic idea of the Finnish system that whatever the background of the child, he or she should be given the same opportunities to become whatever they want to be in their lives. So I think these are the two basic ideas I would like to convey also to Korea.